Welcome back to the channel where we explore, learn, and theorize about the Marvel Universe. Over a year ago, I theorized that Doctor Strange was evil, and that in Infinity War, he tried to get rid of the Avengers. But now this theory makes more sense than you could have ever imagined, and today I'm going to explain why. Now let's get started. In Avengers Infinity War, Doctor Strange saw 14,605 different outcomes to see if the Avengers could defeat Thanos, but according to him, they only won one time. Now let me ask you a question. What are the chances that he really only saw one possibility where the Avengers won? It's definitely possible because 14 million out of an infinite number of possibilities that could be affected by the slightest variations causing even more possibilities to unfold is an incredibly small sample size. But then again, for there to only be one possibility out of 14 million where the Avengers actually defeat Thanos is also an incredibly small chance. So what if that outcome was the one that worked in his favor the most? It brought back everyone that was blipped, but resulted in the loss of many heroes, including 4 of the main Avengers: Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Vision, and almost the Hulk. It revealed Spider-Man's identity to the world, caused Wanda to go insane, and eventually become the Scarlet Witch. Loki traveled back in time, was caught by the TVA, and revealed Kang as a new villain who could potentially wipe out countless more heroes throughout an infinite number of universes and at any point in time because the multiverse was opened. And there are so many more clues that point directly at him being evil. But let me quickly explain why Doctor Strange might even be a villain in the first place, or why he's really doing this. In every universe where superheroes are involved, the same thing happens. Before the heroes, there are of course bad people, robbers, murderers, etc. But after these heroes appear and start getting recognized by the public, the real villains begin to appear. Or at least the crazy scientists that make killer robots and dangerous machines, mutants and monsters with supernatural powers, and villains created by the very heroes that are supposed to keep the world safe make themselves much more well known. I mean, just think about it. How long had Thanos been searching for the Infinity Stones? Decades at the very least, right? Since he realized that Titan was a lost cause. But he didn't find them or appear on Earth until after the Avengers had formed. So basically, this is really what my theory boils down to. Doctor Strange may not necessarily be an evil supervillain that wants to kill all heroes and take over the world, but he may feel that the best way to keep the multiverse, or more importantly, our universe safe, is by getting rid of the heroes that constantly put it in danger, which could be why he chose the one possibility where the Avengers won, but at a great cost. And I think the most interesting reason was just revealed in What If. We know that What If is canon to the MCU because not only has Kevin Feige said so, but because we're gonna see a live-action Captain Carter appear in the Multiverse of Madness. But who else just appeared in What If? Doctor Strange Supreme, the evil version of the Sorcerer. And I seriously have a feeling that this is a hint from Marvel at something much bigger. Like I've stated before, What If is one continuous story even though it seems to take place throughout different universes. And we know this to be true because we've seen Captain Carter speaking with Strange Supreme in the trailer for a future episode. However, it seems like the two will team up in that episode to stop a bigger threat, which alongside the fact that Strange realized his mistake at the end of episode 4, leaves no doubt in my mind that our evil Doctor Strange is not the same version from What If. And even though it's now being rumored that Doctor Strange Supreme will appear in the Multiverse of Madness, that version will not come to our universe, absorb our Doctor Strange, and replace him. Our version of Stephen Strange is evil as well, even though they're two completely separate beings. And depending on how the rest of What If plays out, Strange Supreme may end up becoming a hero, or at the very least, redeeming himself, which could later go on to play a much more important role in Multiverse of Madness. Imagine if Supreme sees our version of Doctor Strange and tells him that he's going down a similar road to the one that he went down, or is actually the one who reveals that our Doctor Strange is evil, but because of his past and what he did to his universe, even if he is now a hero, no one would believe him. And one of the villains for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has been revealed to be Shuma Gorath. And I say one of because apparently the Scarlet Witch will be the real villain, and I will talk about that more later as well. But something that's incredibly important is that the tentacles that we saw in both episode 1 and 4 of What If most likely also belong to the evil being Shuma Gorath. And if you noticed, we never saw more than the tentacles, which depending on whether or not they end up revealing Gorath in a future episode, it could mean that the villain was supposed to be a major surprise in Doctor Strange 2, further connecting the show to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But thanks to the leaks that Shuma Gorath will be chasing and trying to steal America Chavez's powers to take over the multiverse, we already knew that Gorath would appear anyways. We also recently got the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, which is where most of this theory is actually stemming from, and gives us 6 more pieces of evidence. 1. Doctor Strange failed a simple memory wiping spell. 2. Just like in What If episode 4, he refused to listen to Wong. 3. In the trailer we saw him fight Spider-Man twice, and the amount of screen time that he seems to have in the movie is way too much for a supporting role. 4. Even though he gave Thanos the Time Stone in Infinity War, and the one used in Endgame was returned to its original timeline by Captain America, he was seen wearing the Eye of Agamotto in the trailer. 5. The Sinister Six. And 6. In the comic this movie is based on, Spider-Man One More Day, Peter makes a deal with Mephisto to erase his marriage with MJ to save Aunt May's life. Now let me break down each of these points into more detail so it makes more sense. Point 1. Doctor Strange for the simple memory wiping spell, which leads me to believe that he did it on purpose. The Sorcerer Supreme is supposed to be the most powerful magic wielder in the universe, and while none of the characters in the MCU are as powerful as their comic versions, for a variety of different reasons, it's hard for me to believe that making people forget something is harder than rewinding time and bringing Wong back to life, looping himself for infinity to defeat Dormammu, or going forward in time and seeing over 14 million different outcomes. So it's very possible that Doctor Strange knew what was going on with Loki, Sylvie, and He Who Remains, as well as Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch, and decided to fail this spell to further weaken the multiverse or bring new villains to the MCU in hopes of killing Spider-Man. And I'll explain why Spider-Man has to die in a second. Point 2. Just like in What If Episode 4, he refused to listen to Wong. Wong told Doctor Strange not to cast a spell before he left to most likely fight the Abomination in the tournament in Shang-Chi. And you may be saying, well, Wong told Doctor Strange not to cast a spell because it was too dangerous. And that's 100% true. But I don't think he meant that Strange wasn't powerful enough to cast it. He meant it just like how Wong told Strange Supreme not to use the Time Stone to try and save Christine because it could destroy the universe. In the What If universe, Wong knew exactly what Strange was planning, but he tried to stop him in an indirect way. Possibly because he didn't want to ruin their friendship, he didn't want to take on the Sorcerer Supreme with the Time Stone, which nobody in their right mind would, or maybe like the Watcher, he's not supposed to interfere in the Sorcerer Supreme's actions. So MCU Wong telling Strange not to cast a spell could have been for the same reasons. Point 3. In the trailer we saw him fight Spider-Man twice, and the amount of screen time that he seems to have in the movie is way too much for a supporting role. The first time we see them duke it out is when Peter is trying to leave the Sanctum Sanctorum with the multiversal prison, and Doctor Strange knocks him out of his astral form, and the second time is on the train in the desert. Now this could of course just be some narrative misdirection mixed in with a bit of editing magic to CGI the real villain out of the shot, but as far as we're aware, Strange duplicated the train and surrounded Spider-Man. We also see that Strange is seemingly wearing a slightly different black costume, which could be like how Doctor Strange Supreme took the darker cape from the bug monster while he was absorbing different beings' powers. Point 4. Even though he gave Thanos the Time Stone in Infinity War, and the one used in Endgame was returned to its original timeline by Captain America, he was seen wearing the Eye of Agamotto in the trailer. And I couldn't find the exact quote, but I believe he stated that he would continue to study the stone even after it was destroyed. Now if I'm making this up, that's fine. Just let me know in the comments. But if I'm correct, and you know when he said this, then let me know down in the comments too. Also, I know that this may be reaching, but before Strange gave Thanos the stone, the Mad Titan destroyed the Eye of Agamotto. However, due to a filming error, Doctor Strange was briefly shown wearing the Eye of Agamotto again during the lineup in the Battle of Earth right before Captain America said Avengers Assemble in Avengers Endgame. And while this most likely isn't the reason, it could explain why he still has the eye in Spider-Man No Way Home. Maybe it wasn't a filming error at all. In the comics, there are actually 3 Eyes of Agamotto, which could be why he has another one. But I'd like to believe that it's something way more sinister. Which brings us to point 5, the Sinister Six. Let's assume that wiping everyone's memories of Peter Parker being Spider-Man was an incredibly difficult spell. Why in the world would it bring Spider-Man villains from other universes to the MCU? It didn't bring random villains, or incredibly powerful villains like Magneto, Doctor Doom, Apocalypse, or even Galactus to the MCU. It brought the most well-known Spider-Man villains who appeared as main villains in previous Spider-Man movies. Why? Well, like I said, Doctor Strange may have wanted to get rid of Spider-Man, and by acting like he failed the spell, Peter won't be suspicious. He'll just think it was a really unfortunate side effect. And Doctor Strange doesn't have to get his hands dirty by killing Spider-Man himself, which would lead to a number of problems anyways, as multiple people would have known that he went to ask Strange for help. But why does Doctor Strange have to kill Peter? Think of it as a Secret War style scenario, where in order to save our universe, the Illuminati decided to destroy others and be the only one standing. Should the multiverse collapsing put our universe in danger, because either Shumagorath is now free, because of Kang, or any other reason, just like when the Hulk tried to get the Time Stone from the Ancient One but she refused, as it would put her universe in danger, Doctor Strange may choose to prioritize protecting our universe, even if it means killing heroes. However, due to Spider-Man's good nature, his need to try and save everyone, and Tony Stark being his father figure and mentor, it makes sense why the two would have conflicting viewpoints, especially if anyone ever found out that he caused Iron Man's death. So if Doctor Strange brought villains from other universes to our Earth, knowing that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin would trick Peter by saying that if they went back to their universes they would die, Strange would pretend to try and stop Peter from freeing them, but ultimately give up. Then seeing that he was lied to, Spider-Man would be forced to round the villains up, but would die in the process. Then, just like how he did the first time, Strange could either lock them back up, or kill them, as they'd no longer be necessary to his plan. Or maybe he'd even let them roam free so that they could kill even more heroes, since he could always dispose of them later. And finally, point 6. In the comic this movie is based on, Spider-Man One More Day, Peter makes a deal with Mephisto to erase his marriage with MJ to save Aunt May's life. In the MCU though, Peter asked Doctor Strange to wipe him being Spider-Man from everyone's memories. Also, here's another point that I know won't mean anything, like all the Devil/Mephisto references in WandaVision and Loki, but in this scene, we see Peter walking with MJ, and in the background, you can see a sign saying that Peter is the devil in disguise. But if you're still following me, what if it's actually Doctor Strange that's in disguise? Since these evil Doctor Strange theories picked back up recently, more and more people have been speculating that Mephisto is actually the one behind all of this, and that he's either directly controlling the Sorcerer Supreme, or that he's posing as the character. We were introduced to Billy Kaplan and Tommy Shepard, aka Wiccan and Speed, in WandaVision, and just like in the comics, Wanda will search for them, which is why she'll be a villain in the Multiverse of Madness. And just like in the comics, Mephisto could be the one behind the disappearance of her kids, which could explain why Doctor Strange isn't actually Doctor Strange anymore, but instead, Mephisto, who could either be trying to control Wanda by using her kids, or making her angry enough that she'll learn to control her Nexus powers and be strong enough for whatever he's planning. It could also explain why even though there were countless references to him in WandaVision and even Loki, we still haven't seen Marvel's Devil. And it was just revealed that the events of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will take place 2 years after WandaVision, and we'll see Strange face a difficult choice, between ending Wanda Maximoff's life to save the multiverse, or abiding by his Hippocratic oath and dooming all of reality. Now we obviously know that Strange will not kill Wanda, so should he be evil, or actually Mephisto in disguise, he can let Wanda further destroy the multiverse and put our reality in danger, and then blame it on the fact that he refuses to hurt his comrades, or that she was too powerful even for him. Of course, the villain keeping Wanda's kids, controlling her, and even the one supposedly in Strange doesn't have to be Mephisto, as it could just as easily be Nightmare, another prominent Doctor Strange villain, or the creator of the Darkhold, Chthon. So as you can see, there are a lot of sensible reasons for why Doctor Strange could be evil. He could actually be evil and wants to get rid of the MCU's heroes to complete his ultimate goal. He may have been replaced by Mephisto, or is being controlled by him, or he could honestly just think that a world without heroes is much safer for everyone, but he's going at it in the wrong way. So let me know what you guys think about all this. Do you think that Doctor Strange is evil? Which of these reasons do you think is the most likely one? And let me know if you have any different theories in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wash your hands and stay safe.